Hey, welcome to Wire Talk. So today we're going to be talking about the 6 core essentials in motherhood. Think about it this way. You go to college and you take your core classes at the beginning, and then you build from that to your major. So that's sort of the way I look at Mom Core. These are your core classes, the 6 things. I had a church ask me one time, what are the 6 things that all moms need to know? And today is the day. So I'm going to give you a highlight view of all of this because starting in September, we're going to launch Mom Core Online. And that is a self-paced study that moms can do by themselves or with others if they want to gather a few friends and go through it all together. But today is just sort of highlighting all of it and why I think these 6 principles are so essential in motherhood. So stay tuned to the very end of the podcast because we're going to give you a coupon code that's going to give you a discount on doing Mom Core Online. All right, here we go.
Hello, mamas, and welcome to Wire Talk. We are so excited for today's episode, but all I'm going to say is you better buckle up, click, because it is a crash course in motherhood. So,
right.
But in the best kind of way.
Yeah.
The best kind of way.
It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be awesome.
So excited.
Yep, we're in our new studio. It's looking fabulous.
I know. Don't you just feel so professional?
I do feel very professional. The next thing is like professional makeup. But that's just going to be Emily.
That would be really nice.
Me.
No, I'd love it too.
Yeah. But anyways,
we're doing not anytime
soon, but we're looking pretty good with self-makeup by ourselves. I think so, at least.
If we do say so, no.
We do say so ourselves. So, but it's going to be a really great episode. And there's also something exciting at the very end of the episode.
Yeah. So moms need to stay tuned to the very end.
Don't end early because it's got something just for you guys.
That's right. So, a little coupon. All moms love a coupon.
You just gave it away.
Oh.
It's a surprise. They weren't supposed to know it.
Sorry. I'm not good with surprises.
It's okay. You've never been good with surprises.
I am not.
You're like, I got your Christmas present 5 months ago. Do you want to know what it is?
It's true. Oh, my gosh.
It's okay,
so
Mom.
True.
It's okay. It's all
right. Sorry. Well, listen. Today we're going to be talking about all moms want to know. What's an instruction manual for raising my children? And there is no instruction manual, but I will say this. I think these 6 topics that we're going to talk about today are core and essential in a mom's world. And whether they have a 2-year-old or a 22-year-old, you can implement all of these things. And I'm telling you, it lasts throughout. So if people say, oh, I've already heard that, if it's been 5 years, you need to re-listen again.
Right.
I just think this information you need to just continually go back over and over and over again.
And what's the title of this curriculum?
This curriculum is called Mom Core Online.
Yes.
And we're getting ready to launch it. It's going to be a self-paced study that you can do by yourself or you can gather a few friends. And the reason you can do it by yourself is a lot of moms say, hey, I'm new to an area. I don't know a lot of people. I want to do a study, but I don't know how to get in a group. This is a great way to do it. Or moms will say, hey, I'm working. I don't have time to get into a small group. Right. This is a great way for you to get into a study and learn and grow as you go along. And we've packed a lot of stuff into this, extra devotionals. There's check-ins with you daily and ideas to help you implement these tools that you're going to learn.
Yeah. So where did the idea of Mom Core curriculum come from? But more specifically, like the 6 topics that we're going to touch on today, where did those come from?
Well, years ago, I had somebody ask me, if you could only speak to moms about 6 topics, what would they be? And that's a hard question. And so I honestly took a lot of time and a lot of thought, and I was just like, all right. The purpose of a mom, I think, would be my number one because I think, and we'll get into that in a second, but I think that's important. Boundaries are huge.
Totally.
Time management, being a student of your child, which is the colors, which y'all know I'm a big fan of, discipline, and then contentment in motherhood because we all go through seasons where we are not content and we think, oh, the grass is greener over there. And so we're going to dive into a little bit of that. Today's going to be like a highlight version, like a teaser.
Like a teaser.
So hopefully the moms will do Mom Core Online and really dive in to it.
Well, I've personally done Mom Core twice.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've done it 3 times because I think I've basically watched you film it.
Yes.
So, but I was not a mom when you filmed it. So there's a big difference going through it when you're just in college and then you actually have kids.
Right.
But I think I went through it when I had just had Harper, and then I did it again when I had Harper and Grayson. And even like you said, it's something that both times I picked up really great nuggets from it that I kind of not forgot about, but let's be real, I forgot about it. So, yeah. So what we're going to do today is revisit those ideas, kind of tease like you said, and it's going to be awesome. So what do you think about that?
Let's do it. I'm excited.
Me
I can't
too.
wait.
So, and the cool thing about this episode is it's going to be airing on August 29th. Got to make sure I have these details correct. This episode is going to air August 29th, and on September 1st, the Mom Core online course is going to open up. So, and you kind of already gave a little bit of an overview about Mom Core online, but just give them a little bit. It's 6 weeks, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It's 6 weeks. Each of the sessions are about 40 minutes long.
Okay.
And then we're going to have different things the moms can do throughout the week, a devotion that goes along with the topics every single day. Like they can just plug and play,
Awesome.
Making it easy for these moms.
Love it. Easy.
Mm-hmm.
But crazy. Awesome. All right. So today we only have 40 minutes. So we're going to have a crash course of Mom Core Online in 40 minutes, but just so they know what they're getting. So moms, make sure you stay tuned for the end of the episode because like Mom already said, there's a coupon code for Mom Core Online. And so that's what we're going to do. So keep on in. You ready to jump in?
I'm ready to jump in.
The first topic is know your purpose.
Right.
So great.
So what this is about is I just think in motherhood, and I'll start with me first.
Okay.
Whenever I had Kelsey, I had a job that I absolutely loved. It was amazing. It was wonderful. I loved it. But Greg and I decided that I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom because of our life circumstances. And so that was a decision that we made, and we set it all up. And I was excited, like my whole life. That's all I wanted to be was a mom. And I was excited and jumped in, and wow, it really did a number on me. Because number one, it was a little boring. Whenever you bring a newborn home, it's just boring. They just eat, sleep, and poop, and that's really basically it. So there was that. I wasn't getting any words of affirmation, and which I didn't think was going to bother me because words of affirmation are not my love language. And I'm like, who needs it? I think I'm amazing and wonderful, and I don't need anybody telling me that. Well, guess what? I did. And it rocked my world. And I really started struggling with my purpose, not just in motherhood, but in motherhood, in life as a woman. Like, is this it? Is this all I'm supposed to do? Is change diapers and make sure she's fed and make sure she's safe? I mean, yeah, that's great. But I mean, there's got to be more.
Come on.
And I just really struggled. And so as I grew and got into what is my purpose, then later, years down the road, talking to moms, I started realizing it wasn't just me that was having these struggles. Like a lot of moms struggled. And a lot of moms, whether they were stay-at-home or working moms or whatever, it's like our husbands' lives don't change at all. It's just now they are dads, and it's amazing that it's just sort of added to their gleeful, joyful life. With us, it's different. I don't know, in every aspect. So a lot of us we struggle with our purpose. What's our purpose? And then we look at our child and we're like, ooh, you're my purpose.
You're mine.
Yeah. And if you act well, then I get an A. But if you don't act well, if you misbehave, if you act out in the store, then I'm getting an F for the day. Yeah. And that is a bad feeling, to feel like you're getting an F all the time.
Yeah.
Especially if you've never gotten an F before in your life.
Yeah.
It's hard. And it really will rock your world. And when a child looks at you and says, I don't like you, or you're mean, or whatever, it can really rock you. So that's why I started this whole curriculum off with, what is your purpose? Because actually it's not tied into being a mom. It's really not. And the key verse in this week is to do everything as unto the Lord. And that is what we're going to dive into. And that's what we really talk about on what does everything mean? You know what I mean? From changing diapers to your attitude towards your husband, to the way you feed the dog and wash the dishes.
I think I need to sign up for Mom Core Online again.
I'm telling you, it makes a big difference.
You talking about it, it's like, oh yeah, I need to kind of adjust the way I think about certain things.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Because what we do is we put too much pressure on our children, on our families, on our husbands. And if they don't look perfect, if they don't act perfect, well, then we are a bad mom. And that's not true.
Right.
Not true at all. So our children end up becoming our report cards, which is never a good idea.
Yay.
Yeah.
So what would be something practical for these moms to focus on their purpose for just this week?
I think just to listen to Mom Core Online and then to start readjusting where you place your purpose in your life. Because if you don't have your purpose aligned with the Lord, then you're always going to be off kilter just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Well, makes a big difference. So start listening to Mom Core Online.
Yeah. Start soon. September 1st is September what you said, 1st. Right?
Yes. Sign up. All right. Area number 2. Oh, this one's so hard for me. Establish boundaries.
There you go. Well, boundaries are tough for everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, you say it's so hard for me. Well, it's so hard for you because you're a green, right?
Yeah.
But I'm a yellow, and yellows want to be liked by everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever you establish boundaries, people push back. They don't like it. People usually respond with anger whenever a boundary is established. And I don't like that either. Boundaries, probably the only one it doesn't really bother too much are the reds.
Mm-hmm.
The blues don't normally like it. Yellows definitely don't like it. And the greens don't like it because it's conflict.
Yeah.
But the reds are like, bring it on. But, I'm just saying a lot of us struggle with boundaries. But boundaries are actually a really good and healthy place to be in your life and to put them into place. You're not putting a boundary on another person. You're putting it on yourself. Like this, think of your life as a fence, and you're building a fence and you're saying, inside the fence keeps me happy and at peace. And outside the fence are things that I can't control and things that I need to keep out. And it's like a safeguard for your own mental state, if that makes any sense at all.
It does, yeah.
So,
for sure.
I always, when Kelsey was growing up, there was a fence around our neighbor's house.
Yes.
Because they had a pool, and she, as any 2-3-year-old, wanted to go get in the pool all the time. But the fence actually kept her at a safe distance from the pool because she did not know how to swim. So I was very grateful that the fence of my neighbors were in place because that kept Kelsey out. And whenever we went over with her and went through the gate, then we were a safe place for her to go swim and she could enjoy the pool. But unless that was happening, she needed to be kept out. Mm-hmm. And so what happens a lot of times in a lot of our lives are we don't have boundaries set. So therefore, people push and push and push. And then one day we just explode because we didn't set a boundary from the very beginning. And that makes such a huge difference.
Right. I can understand that.
Yeah.
So what would the practical, they have to wait till week 2 to get the full boundaries talk, but how do you give them enough practical advice before they can get to week 2?
Well, I just think that you need to start educating yourself and realizing that setting a boundary isn't a negative thing. It's actually a very positive thing, and it's good for you, and it's also good for the ones that you love. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we look at it, oh, that's bad, and they're going to be upset and all that. But once you establish a boundary, it might be hard right at first, but then everybody will get used to it, and it will be better in the long run. So let me give you a quick example. Quick. So when y'all were little, we were going back and forth to Georgia for every Thanksgiving and every Christmas. And that's a 10-hour drive one way. And Greg and I were exhausted. You know what I'm saying?
So.
It was horrible. So we said, okay, what can we do to bring some more peace into our lives, And we both realized and knew right off the bat, it's not traveling to Georgia in November and then turn around 3-4 weeks later, do it again in December. So it was a hard conversation to tell the parents, and they were not happy. And we just said, hey, every other year, what we did was we decided that November, we were going to stay in Virginia for Thanksgiving.
Okay.
And we were only going to travel home on Christmas.
Okay.
And every other year, we would switch the family that we spent Christmas morning and Christmas Eve with. So, as you can imagine, the parents that we didn't go to the first year, it was hard for them. But then the next year, whenever we didn't go to the other set, it was hard for them because they were used to us being there every single year. But it wasn't working for our family. And so we just sat down, we just had a calm conversation. And, whenever you're setting a boundary, you just have to be like, I'm doing this for me, and this is going to be better for me in the long run. And honestly, everybody did adjust, and then it got to be good. And then whenever we went, we were excited to be there. It wasn't like we were exhausted. We enjoyed the holiday so much more.
Yeah. Well, side note, we started doing that with our family for Christmas. And I think because your parents were understanding.
Yeah.
In-laws, you were very understanding when Brian and I were like, hey, this is what we're going to do for Christmas and Thanksgiving. And it does make a big difference.
Well, and just on that side note, whenever your children become adults, I heard this guy the other day, and I thought it was so good. And he said, he was talking to parents of empty nesters like me and your dad. And he says, we need to allow our children to be adults and to adult in their life. They don't have to check in with us. They don't have to get our approval. If they ask the parents over for dinner or a holiday or whatever, we need to say yes and go and be excited. But they don't have to do that all the time. We need to allow them to make their decisions, whether we like it or not. And I think so many people that are my age and older need to really understand that we need to give our children the permission to be adults and to run and own their own lives. And I'm speaking to myself as much as everybody else right now.
Yeah. Well, we could do a whole podcast on that one topic.
Yes,
but we're not talking about that. So,
but I think it's a good topic.
It is a good talk. Next month, maybe.
Yes.
Okay. Area 3, be strategic with time management. So what does that look like for Mom Core Online?
Well, that's just talking about how we are all just running a very fast-paced life. Honestly, whether you live in Atlanta, Georgia, whether you live in Connecticut, New York, Alaska, Kansas. I mean, I go out to my Kansas moms and their farmers' wives and just living all that. And you think, oh, they must have a slow-paced life. Well, they don't, because their children are involved in sports. There's ballet going on. There's football. There's, the band, all those kinds of things. And so they're just as involved and busy as we are. You know what I mean? So time management is really just stepping back and realizing you have 24 hours in a day, 7 days a week. So how can I maximize my time for 24 hours and 7 days a week? Realizing that you have to sleep during those 24 hours. You have to eat during those 24 hours. You can't be busy all the time. And you need some rest time in there, not just sleeping, but literally turning off your brain and just resting like God said, Sunday should be your day of rest or whatever. So that's the whole premise behind it. There's 3 core ways you need to separate your time. There's non-negotiables, essentials, and then your bonus categories. And a lot of the time we get our bonus on top. It trumps our non-negotiables. Yep. But in time management, we all have to stop and really have some hard thoughts on what are my non-negotiables. And whenever you and your husband decide, these are my non-negotiables, don't budge off of that. And that's hard.
Yeah.
Deciding that this is the priority in our life, no matter what. And then something amazing comes up and we're like, oh, I just want to skip on it this one time.
I don't want to do it.
Yeah. But, why are they your non-negotiables? And are you going to stand tall on it or not? You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What would your tip for the mom who's a little bit overwhelmed or a lot overwhelmed this week just to keep going?
Honestly, I think you just need to realize there's 24 hours in a day, 7 days a week. You can't get everything done. And that's okay. That's okay. And nobody, honestly, probably other than herself, expects her to get everything done. And if they do, then you need to set a boundary in your life and just say, hey, I'm only one person and I can only get so much stuff done.
Absolutely.
So, I would just give yourself a little grace and realize, and I do in Mom Core, I do go through a season. I sort of peel back the curtain and I talk about when you were getting married. Taylor was going off to college. We just did an African mission trip with a whole group of, people. I mean, Kelsey was getting ready to have Evie as a baby. I mean, her first baby. There was a lot going on. And I had to make some really hard choices. But I had to figure out, what are my non-negotiables? What are the most important things, that I want to be a part of? And I had to tell a big church that I was getting ready to, I can't do that then. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to give that up because me going with my daughter to look at her wedding dress is a little bit more important than this class over here.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. But I'm just saying it was hard choices.
Yeah.
And in that, I go into it way deeper in Mom Core Online. But Taylor, I didn't go with him to set up his first college dorm room. And he has sort of ribbed me about that over the years. But, Greg went. He was fine.
He's fine.
All is well. So, there's only one me, and there's only 24 hours in the day, 7 days a week. You cannot create more time.
Yes, true. Well, this might be one of your favorite topics for that area number 4. But you have to keep it a little short because you can't give them the whole episode. Even though you could talk about this for a week and a half, maybe a month. But the area 4 is becoming a student of your child.
Yes.
So we all, not all, but most of us know what that means. But just give us a short little synopsis of what that's going to look like for the Mom Core Online.
I could talk about it.
I know, you love it, which is great.
Okay, becoming a student of your child is so important because it's hard for you to parent a child whenever you're thinking that they're just like you. And even though they may have similar characteristics of you, or they may be driven like you, or they maybe have certain aspects like you, they're not just like you because we were all created individually by God. So I am a huge believer that God knit us all together in our mother's womb, and we are fearfully and wonderfully made. And it's my job as a mom to learn how to parent my child in the way God wired them. So that means learning their temperament. What is their color? What are their strengths? What are their weaknesses? What are their likes? What are their dislikes? What birth order are they? What does that mean? Does that even play into anything? What are their love languages? All those things make such a difference. But in becoming a student of your child, I really dial in major to the colors. Because I just want to give the moms like a 30,000-foot view of what the colors are, why does it matter, and just show how I had to really learn this hard with Taylor when he was 2 and 3 years old, but it changed the trajectory of our relationship. Taylor and I are complete opposite, truly.
Truly.
And I had to learn him. And if I'm going to be honest, he was a little weird to me, a little strange. But once I learned, you're not weird. This is your temperament. This is the way God has wired you.
Absolutely.
And I need to figure this out because I'm working against you rather than for you. And so that's why I think it's so important. And it really did change our relationship.
For the better.
100% for the better.
100%. So, well, getting practical now, what do you suggest for a mom who needs to learn the temperaments right now? They can't wait till Mom Core, so they need something right now.
Well, they're going to have to get to Mom Core. You just need to know there's 4 different temperaments, and we're all wired differently.
Is there a resource on Birds on a Wire that they can figure out their temperaments?
Well, yeah, there's all kinds of Wire Talk episodes, but I mean, it all starts with Mom Core Online.
Yeah, there's also a quiz on Mom Core. There's also a quiz you can take on Birds on a Wire. I was trying to get you there, but you weren't.
I wasn't going.
It's okay.
Sorry.
That's all right. There's a quiz on Birds on a Wire Moms. It's a free resource for you, and you can take a temperament quiz, and you can take it through the lens of yourself or through the lens of your child if they're not quite old enough to take it themselves.
So do we know the link?
It's www.boaw.mom/quiz.
Okay. Sorry.
It's okay. You don't need to apologize.
Do you still have to say www?
Probably not.
Probably not, right?
It's just boaw.mom/quiz.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
Honestly, I was just asking, like, do we need to still say www?
I mean, I don't really think so.
I don't either. I don't know.
Let us know.
Food for thought. Those of you that are techies out there, let us know. Because obviously Clearly, Emily and I are not.
Yes, obviously. But anyways, moving on right along. Area number 5, discipline.
Discipline is the thing that all moms want to talk about. It doesn't matter where I go, where I travel. If I'm talking about, your devotion time, connecting with God, or I'm talking about the colors, or I'm talking about your purpose as a mother or whatever, and you have Q&A at the end.
So it's always discipline.
Discipline always, 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 always comes up because it's on the front of mom's brains.
And I think for me, and why I have so many questions is I somewhat figure it out for one thing, and then the other kid does something completely different, and that one thing doesn't work, and I'm like, okay, I don't know what to do again. I don't know what to do again.
It's been working with your one child for X amount of months, and then you do it the same way,
and it's not working.
It doesn't work. So you're
fun.
Whoa, what's happening? So the whole basis core of discipline is Hebrews 12:11. Not train up a child, I'm sorry. That no discipline seems pleasant at the time.
Yes.
But in the long run, it creates righteousness and peace. And I think I looked it up. Righteousness really means excellence. And I think every mom would say, I want excellence and I want peace for my child's life.
Absolutely.
And I want excellence and peace for my life, right?
Yes.
But in order to get there, we have to implement discipline. And it's not that our children are bad. It's not that our children are just naughty all the time. They're just learning and growing, and they don't know. They don't know that it's inappropriate to do certain things or say certain things. Whenever Taylor was growing up, and he's just a boy, he would just say things, and we'd look at him like, what in the world? Why are you saying that? You know what I mean? And he's like, oh, I didn't know. And it's like, well, anybody would know that. But he was a middle school boy, so he didn't know.
Right.
So we had to literally talk to him about every single thing. He got in bed one night, and I smelled him, and I'm like, did you take a bath? And he goes, or a shower? And he goes, yeah, I got in the shower. And I looked at him, I'm like, did you use soap? And he was like, no, you didn't say use soap. You just said get in the shower. And I'm like, so it's not that our children are bad. It's just they don't know. So it's our job
to teach them.
Absolutely. And to educate them. And I think you can do it the right way and you can do it the wrong way. And so that's what this week is about. And a lot of moms are like, discipline's really hard for me. Of course it is. That's what it tells us in Hebrews. Discipline is hard at the time.
Absolutely.
But later on, it produces righteousness and peace. And that's what our goal is, excellence and peace in our child's life. So it is hard. And if you think it's hard, then you must be doing it right, because we all feel that. And it is really hard.
Well, that's encouraging.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then the practical tip for these moms this week would be what?
Honestly, I just think I would start praying, God, help me to walk towards the hard. We don't really want to do that. We want to evade it and we want to go around it. But, anything in life worth having is usually hard, and it takes a lot of work to get there. So just to give me the courage and the strength to get there.
You could do it, Mama.
Yes.
You can do it.
Yes.
So, and then the last topic or area of Mom Core Online is practice contentment.
Yeah, contentment. That's a hard one, isn't it? I really dive into my life story in this week's episode, and I really talk about how there was a season in my life that I was not content, and I was just like, I can't be happy unless these things happen.
Mm-hmm.
And just the journey that God took me on to show me, hey, you can be happy if you start resting in me. You can be happy if you let go of all of your hopes and dreams and desires and all that and look to me to, fulfill you. And that was a hard lesson to learn. And so I talk about how I learned it and how long it took. It was a 2-year process for me, which is a long time, but I did get there. But it was really, really difficult. So, and I just think it's important. Moms may not have the same issue that I had, but I guarantee you it's something in their life, like whether it's finances or their marital relationship or problem with their children or disease or anything, God is our source always. And in him, he can bring us to a place of contentment. Paul says, I have learned to be content, whether he had a lot or a little. And contentment is a learned behavior.
Oh, it's like on the face. Like, yes, it is. And it's so important to know that and to work on that because it's not just a one-time thing.
No, it's not. And just like the discipline, it's hard and people don't want to go through hard. But you know what? Life is hard and life is messy. I mean, truly, life is messy.
Yes.
And so we have to just learn, okay, this is going to be messy. This is going to be hard, but I'm going to do it.
So what's one practical way these moms can practice contentment this week?
Honestly, I just think with all these things, you got to get into Mom Core Online and just really be praying that God would open up your heart and open up your mind to what he has in store for you. I can't give you this is one thing like our normal questions.
Yes.
This is one thing you can do for whatever. You really need to start praying, God, I want to do this. I'm going to do this by myself if no one else will do it with me. And just open up my heart, open up my mind, and show me what you want to show me. Because I really believe more than anything, God showed up on those teachings. And he really, a lot of moms will say, you were speaking to me. And I always tell them that wasn't me. That was the Lord.
And I challenge any mom who's watching this, who's like, I really want to do this and I don't have a group. This was actually my first Birds on a Wire mom group to do, and I just put it on Facebook. I said, hey, starting a new group, and I picked the time and the days that were best for me. I think it was like a Tuesday at 7:30 p.m., and a lot of people couldn't do it, but a sweet, special group of people did get to do it, and I just really prayed that God would bring whoever needed to do it into my living room that night, and I was just very upfront with these moms. I was like, just so y'all know, my house is going to be a mess, and a toddler might walk down the stairs at one point, but it was a great experience for me. It was my first small group at Birds on a Wire through Birds on a Wire that I did. And he showed up and brought people that I was close with, new people that I had not known, but I did have to put that out on Facebook. And it was just a simple, hey, these are the dates. This is the time. I picked what was best for me. So I challenge you to, if you don't want to do this by yourself, pick the dates, pick the time that work for you, and ask some friends or ask people to join you. Because I know whether it's 1, whether it's 10, people will join you because women, moms need community, and they really do want it too. So
they really do. And I will say, we're going to do a little bonus here. So if you live in the Atlanta area, if you do it with a group and y'all want to, at the end of your time together, sign up through info at Birds on a Wire Moms, we're going to do Q&A sessions in the office where y'all could come to the office.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, we're just going to sit around, have coffee, and just for an hour, just ask all your questions.
That's going to be so fun.
I know. So listen, depending on how many people sign up, I'm just throwing this out there. I'm sure my team are like, what the heck?
Guys.
But you know what? Depending on how many people sign up, maybe you wouldn't get a slot till January, but at least you come in. And then we, get you on the calendar, and it would be so fun. I would love to meet y'all. I would love to hear your questions. And even if I don't have the answers, we're going to have a great time. But hopefully I will have the answers, but we'll see. We're going to have a great time. Yes. So it's just a bonus for the Atlanta area moms.
Awesome. Great. Well, moms, thank you so much for taking your special time to join us on Wire Talk, whether it's through YouTube, on iTunes, or whichever platform you're listening to Wire Talk. We appreciate it. We can't do it without you. Make sure that you like and subscribe just so you don't miss any upcoming episodes, because there's so much going on for you guys. And we're not going to leave you hanging. I've got that coupon code for you, but I'm going to read it because I don't want to mess it up. So if you've loved what you learned today, you need to check out Mom Core Online. The next class kicks off September 1st. To register, head to boaw.mom/momcoreonline. That's boaw.mom/momcoreonline. You can also find the link in the show notes today, which is usually at the bottom. And for our amazing listeners, here you go. Here's your coupon code. So use Wire Talk. That's WIRETALK, all one word, to save on the course. With Mom Core Online, you pay once and have access to the course whenever you like and from wherever you are. So you can watch it 6 weeks in a row, or you can watch it once a month for 6 months. It's really your pace on what works for you. Each module is such full of foundational wisdom for motherhood, no matter where your kids are in toddlers, empty nesters, teens, it's for you. Mom covers everything she touched on today in depth over the course of 6 different modules, and you'll get journaling pages, printables, lock screen graphics. This is a lot that you're getting.
That's a lot.
All right, links to additional resources on each topic and so much more. Again, Mom Core Online kicks off September 1st, but don't wait. Head to boaw.mom/momcoreonline to sign up today. And again, that coupon code is WIRETALK. One word, WIRETALK.
And I will say real quick, it's not like a big window to register.
I think it's 3 weeks.
Yeah. I mean, it's like once it's shut down, you got to wait till January to do it again.
Yeah, so you need to sign up. And then that's it for today.
Yeah.
It was a lot, but it was really great. And we'll be back next Tuesday answering more questions from you. And if you didn't know, you can submit your questions to info@birdsonawire.moms.com. And we will love to hear from you, making sure that we try to answer your questions and encourage and equip you just like Birds on a Wire was meant to do. Just so y'all know, Birds on a Wire is made for you, and this Wire Talk is an arm of the ministry. And if you have any questions about Birds on a Wire, conferences, curriculum, live events, small group study, journals, devotionals, lunchbox notes, just head over to birdsonawiremoms.com and check it out. Y'all have a great week.